We have released our new I'm Not Far Right t-shirts. There are 2 different variants which come in black and blue. You can find them at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Let's get into today's video.
And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. We do have a major update with regard to Tommy Robinson. Look, earlier on today we of course reported to you and spoke about the viral clip that's currently going around on X at this moment in time from St Pancras train station. Now at the time, look, I wanted to be careful with what I'm saying, because it was just a 15-second clip. But what we did hear clearly in that video clip that was going around was, of course, Tommy was like, brother, you seen that? He came at me first. All of these kind of things. So it kind of looks like, of course, that Tommy has acted in self-defense at St Pancras Station. You know, you got to think about Tommy Robinson in his position. He's been spat at, he's been shouted at, he's probably been attacked over the years of doing his activism, if you want to call it that, his journalism over the years. Now, there has been a major update following this, and before we do get into that major update, I just want to show you the video for some of you that haven't seen it yet. This is what happened. This is the viral clip that's been going around from St Pancras train station from last night with regard to Tommy Robinson. Have a watch. Now, earlier on today, as I said, Tommy's always posting on social media and hasn't really, when we went live earlier on today, he hadn't posted anything. No sort of video, no video update, nothing. He has posted something in terms of a retweet with regard to something, with regard to the attack, which we're going to be diving into in a minute. But I just want to get to the breaking news with regard to this major update, and that is that Tommy Robinson has reportedly left and fled the country, is what the mainstream media are going with. Yes, Tommy Robinson has reportedly left the UK following the incident at St Pancras Station in London and is now subject of a police investigation. The 42-year-old, of course, was captured on video at the scene of what appears to be a violent altercation, with footage showing an unconscious man lying face down in the background as Robinson appears to speak directly to onlookers or the person filming. Now, the alleged assault remain unclear, including what may have sparked the confrontation or who initiated it. In the viral video, though, Robinson can be heard strongly denying any wrongdoing. He maintains that he was not the aggressor and insists he was acting in self-defense and reacting to a threat. Now, the British Transport Police confirmed that they are now seeking to speak to Robinson in connection with it. A spokesperson said, following a report of an assault at St Pancras Station last night, officers have confirmed that the suspect, a 42-year-old man from Bedfordshire, boarded a flight out of the country in the early hours of this morning. Detectives are continuing to work closely to progress the investigation and bring him into custody for questioning. Now, of course, this latest development comes just after a few months, of course, of Tommy being released from prison. Now, I have been following Tommy for a while, and I've seen a lot of his supporters. I don't think Tommy's a violent man whatsoever. A man in his position would have been acting in self-defense, and you can clearly see in that video where he's speaking. He's saying, "You've seen that, bruv. You've seen that, bruv. He came at me. He came at me." You should be able to defend yourself. And the thing is, with St Pancras train station, there'll be a lot of CCTV footage that's in place. So again, hopefully, of course, justice is here. But with the UK, I mean, it's an iffy one, right? Tommy's a wanted man. They've wanted to silence him for a very, very long time. But we'll have to see what sort of comes of this. Now, as I stated, Tommy never posted a video nor tweeted about this incident, however did retweet something which I find very interesting. So he's not published anything himself, but he did retweet this post following reports of him, of course, fleeing the country. And this is what's been said, as you can see, 2 hours ago. And this was what the post, and this is what was being said. I know this will be controversial, but it's true. It's never good or acceptable to physically assault someone over the political views. But let's look at the context. Tommy Robinson has been politically active, a well-known figure for years. There's countless videos of him, people debating him, threatening him, etc. Shout and scream at him all you want, disagree with his views, debate him, argue with him. He's not going to punch or attack you. I've argued with him loads over the years, and guess what? Never been attacked by him. But there has to be a limit point and a boundary that's in place, and that applies to anyone. We should all be safe in our personal space. If you cross a line and attack someone physically or threaten to attack them physically, then you can't expect any response other than a strong one. A preemptive strike is totally legal. To me, it looks pretty clear Tommy Robinson, controversial or not, was going about his business. Someone tried to attack him and they came off worse. I hope they're okay and make a full recovery, but if you start a physical fight with someone, especially someone who won't hesitate to protect themselves, then you have to be willing to lose. Now, I absolutely echo that, which Tommy retweeting this post definitely suggests that that was what happened. He attacked him, and he took matters into his own hands in terms of defending himself, which you absolutely should be able to do. You know, self-defense is one of those things that you have to be able to. If someone's gone for you physically, you should be able to. You are, I suppose, but the UK is so weird these days. You should be able to, of course, retaliate, and that's what looks like has happened as Tommy Robinson has reposted this himself. But again, I suppose it's not doing him any help. I suppose if, of course, he's left the country. He's fled the country, but I suppose he knows what the justice system is like in the United Kingdom. They're after him. That's pretty clear to see, and of course this comes at a time where the 13th of September is rolling around. We're still a little way away, but just over a month out. But certainly they won't want that to go ahead, the establishment. So again, I'm looking forward to hearing the full context of it. I do feel sorry for Tommy in this situation. And because I know he's not a violent man. I mean, I've never met the man personally. However, you know, you've seen him. He's been in the public domain. He's been in the public. He's been in the public eye for years, decades, and you've never seen something like this. And you've seen him had an awful lot worse. So yeah, I mean, there has to be a point where you can defend yourself physically, especially if you're at threat. So it does look as though it's like that. He was acting in self-defense, and he was the guy, of course, that did KO the individual that's on the ground. But it does seem as though his side of the story, of course, is acting in self-defense, and to be honest, I would believe that. I would believe that for sure. I don't think Tommy's a violent man like that, but you know, you have to act in that way. So yeah, he's fled the country. I'm willing to try and understand what you guys think with regard to him fleeing the country. Does that give him? Is that causing a bit of a problem, I suppose? Does it cause a bit of an issue? I would love to hear from Tommy's side, of course, or as to why he's left the country, of course. But yeah, I mean, if it's a weird one, I suppose, because people would then frame it, say, well, if you're innocent and you did this, then you wouldn't flee the country. You would take accountability for it and see what happens. But Tommy's relationship with authority and the establishment is a completely different situation. So again, I probably understand as to why Tommy did what he did. But we'll be looking forward to essentially hearing his side of the story in due course. But guys, do let me know your thoughts in the chat. Let's go through the live chat here and see what people are saying. Karen says, we all have the right to defend ourselves. Anyone who's got the full footage, let the public see the truth. We know it definitely would be self-defense. Again, it's one of those. I mean, as I said earlier on today, St. Pancras, King's Cross will be the most heavily monitored place in terms of CCTV footage in the whole of the country. I would go as far as saying millions of people pass through there on a day-to-day basis. I would hedge my bets in saying that there was definitely CCTV footage in that vicinity. And of course, if Tommy, of course, was acting in self-defense, then it would be there for everybody to see. You'll Never Walk Alone, LFC 97 says, why did he run off, or why did he flee the country? I don't know. We don't know as far as to why. We just know that reports this morning stated that he's boarded a plane. So, yeah. I mean, I suppose, like, if I said it to anyone else, if I was speaking about anybody else, I would say, well, if you were innocent, this is the UK, remember, so it's a different situation in Tommy's public enemy number one. If it was anyone else, say if it was me in that position, personally, then I would probably, if I was acting in self-defense, then of course I would go to the authorities in the hope that the CCTV footage would be there and clear my name. But again, with Tommy Robinson, it's a different story, right? He's public enemy number one to the establishment, and yeah, you can understand. I suppose you can understand. Carl says, you are guilty first in this country, not the opposite. Yeah, well, it certainly looks that way if you look at everything else when it's they come out and smear your name. Russell Brand is a good example of that. Tommy in years gone by, Tate, all of these sorts of individuals. But the likes of Hugh Edwards and stuff like that commit heinous acts and heinous crimes are usually the people that have their identity protected. Benjamin Outdoors says, Tommy is always back and forth to Spain. The word flee cannot be used until proven. He's a busy international diary booked in advance. That's a very good point there, to be fair, Benjamin. To be fair, I've probably been baited by the mainstream media, which I apologize for doing. You make a very, very good point. He does commute back and forth to Spain a lot, and as you say, yeah, in international diary, he may have already left. He may have already had that flight already going out at that time. He was already going to be going anyway at that time and have other engagements. But of course, yeah, I suppose the way that the legacy media and the mainstream media are currently doing it is stating that he's fled. Use the terminology fled the country, and probably I probably should have known a little bit better than that. So apologize. Apologies. On the anniversary of this tragic event at Southport, which invertedly created the government hardline against UK patriotic citizens, was the attacker paid to get a reaction from Mr. Robinson? Robert says the powers to be have been hoping for something like this. Marcus says you can see all the cameras all around, but he may already be on his way out of the country and was followed, etc. I bet you. Oh. I've seen the documentary with regard to the BBC. I know how far people will go to try and silence him. I understand it. I've seen it many times. That the one with the BBC where they tried to turn him into a predator. That should have already caused outrage within the United Kingdom. But just because it's Tommy, people don't. I suppose because it's Tommy. That it happened to, people don't really care because his name has been tarnished by the mainstream media. But how effed up was that? They were trying to turn him into a predator, and he exposed it with undercover cameras. So we've seen the establishment, we've seen the BBC and all of these kind of things try to bury him and turn him into something that he's not. Sean says Manchester Airport police attackers were allowed self-defense as mitigation by judge in their trial. It's a two-tier justice system. When you come to realise that, I think you already know that, Sean, to be fair, but you make a great point. Brian says his lawyers need to quickly get the CCTV because they will delete it. Well, I mean, if the CCTV was... the bit was missing, then, there'd be massive questions. Someone's saying he's in Israel. Mr. Slotball said he should not have run abroad. Does not look good. I know, it doesn't look good, but as Benjamin Outdoors said a minute ago, is that you can't, I mean, that's happened. It's a hard one, mate. It's really a hard one because I see it from both sides. You're right. If you're in an incident like that, you sparkoed him, then if you're an innocent guy, then you just go there and clear your name, right? you clear your name. And it's not, I suppose, a good look in the big scheme of things to leave the country, right? But as people were stating, he may have already had prior engagements to leave the country anyway. He may have already been going to leave the country at that point. So, yeah, he may have not, quote-unquote, fled the scene, as the mainstream media were saying. However, I do see both sides where people were like, well, if you're innocent and that's happened, you've got to cut it and just go to the station, clear your name, just get it dealt with and be like, that's it. But we know the establishment's relationship with Tommy Robinson. We've seen it. We've seen it play out in real time. So sometimes you don't really know what's going on in somebody's head. But let's see what comes out of it, guys. This is an investigation ongoing, and whilst I like what Tommy does, what Tommy stands for, what he speaks about, and I personally think he would. I mean, I've not seen the footage. I can't completely say what's what, but I suppose following him for a number of years and seeing what people closest to him are saying, I would believe the story that it was acted in self-defense. But again, we can't see everything until thing. I don't think he's that sort of guy. That he's had a far lot worse that's happened to him at protests and things like that. I definitely think it would be self-defense. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's live stream. Do let me know your thoughts on everything. For those of you just tuning in, and to conclude on what we're saying, it's being reported that Tommy has left the country following, of course, the assault, the attack on him, or the self-defense attack on him. And the British Transport Police do want to speak to him and bring him to the station and see what has gone on. He's a wanted man. And then thirdly as well, he's of course retweeted a tweet stating that he did act in self-defense. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what more developments come out from this. But as always, guys, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more, and we'll update you as the day goes on. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll